Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
He's got a lot of power.
Come on, Greg. You're asking a guy whose team name is Pellet Envy. So obviously the answer you're going to get is no.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
Charbono. It's all about the Charbono, dude. I just like being anywhere with Junior, Senior, and Diva.
Sounds like a whole other type of movie.
Wow. Yeah, really.
You could use it to fight off creeping marauders looking to take your steaks off your grills.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
How hot is Kelly Ripa in person?
Kelly Ripa is super hot. She's absolutely delicious.
Oh, yeah.
You could butter baste her and pint Twinkies with that girl. She's delish.
Well, to put it briefly, let's just say I went to school.
There's no Robert Porker who's in charge of pig meat out there.
Is it not correct to properly classify you as Harry Sue's pit bitch?
I was his pit bitch for 6 weeks. I have no shame. I was. Keep it hot, keep it clean, keep it lubricated.
Succulent fish. What?
This right here is the premier media outlet.
So did you see this one? Tiger Woods has gone ahead and checked into sex rehab. Hey, Tiger, guess what? Everybody's addicted to sex.
I'm shaking like a dog shitting peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
Centralites, welcome to After Dark. Yeah, baby. Hopefully you stuck around for the first part of the show. Had the barbecue chicken roundtable with Kelly Wirtz, Joe Amore, and Troy Black. LearnToQ.com, Four Legs Up Barbecue, and Smoky Mountain Smokers, respectively. Got another roundtable coming up next week and the week after that. So we're jam-packed with all sorts of great stuff coming up. 877-448-0433. Going to be joined here in just 1 second by Mike Lake, the president of the Kansas City Barbecue Society. So if you have any questions, feel free to call in. Again, toll-free number, 877-448-0433 is the number to call in. Now let's go to the hotline. Joining me now, president of the Kansas City Barbecue Society. It's none other than Mike Lake joining us here on the Barbecue Central Show After Dark. Mike, how are you tonight?
I'm real fine, Greg.
First time with my new mouth. Please forgive me.
That's all right.
There you go. So you are president of the KCBS, and I believe you are going on, is this your second term, correct?
Actually, it's my third.
Third term. I apologize. So obviously you're well known as a competition cook as well as being on the board now here for the past 3 years. So kind of taking us back here before we get into some of the KCBS stuff, where does the jump for you going from competition cook to saying, you know what, I'd really like to kind of get into the inner workings of KCBS. I'll make that jump to run for the BOD. When does that kind of strike you and what motivates you to want to do that?
Well, that really all happened back in the mid-'90s. First ran for the board, and I just wanted to be more involved with it. Just wanted to get involved with the cooks, and really wanted cooks on the board. And that was the reason I come back the second time. I just wanted to make sure that the cooks had a voice on the board, and that was the biggest reason for me running.
So we look back, during your time on the board here as president, and I guess for the people that might not, there's a lot of people here in the audience that are familiar with A, Competition Barbecue, B, Kansas City Barbecue Society, because it is the single biggest sanctioning body as far as competition barbecue is concerned. But when you look at the board, as president, can you kind of give us a basic outline of what your duties are as fulfilling that capacity with KCBS?
Well, really, the president doesn't have a vote on the board, so basically I'm there just to run the meetings, make sure that the meetings run we try to run them pretty much according to Robert's rules of order, and then when we got something that comes before the board that they want looked at, sometimes I'll investigate it a little bit further for them. If we got something happening and they want me to take a look at it, I'll take a look at it, bring it back to the board for their approval, and just basically, I guess you'd say, trying to lead them down the straight and narrow, if you want to look at it that way.
There you go. We're talking with Mike Lake. He is the president of the Kansas City Barbecue Society. That website, by the way, is kcbs.us if you want to go ahead and check them out if you haven't been there already. Mike, last year it seemed probably more than ever, and this could have a lot to do with the fact that technology seems to be rolling out quicker and quicker each day. But on various forums and whoever you're talking to, there seemed to be a lot of, for lack of a better term, vocality in regards to some folks with the way the board was operating, and that there seemed to be a recurring statement of, well, the board is being bogged down in minutia and all this stuff. Obviously, you're part of the board and you've seen it. Was that a lot of people or a few people talking loud and it wasn't really the case, or perhaps was there some validity to that statement?
Well, I think there was... we're 13,000 members, and the majority of those members certainly weren't part of that. But those that were, we listened to, and we get bogged down in it a little bit. But we continue to strive, go forward, and we're trying to do what's right for the cooks and the organizers also. The organizers are a big part of it, and we try to accommodate them and make some adjustments maybe in our rules and regulations to make things easier for those organizers. So, to answer your question, yeah, sometimes it gets bogged down, but I think the board is smart enough, and we continue to strive to move forward.
Having served now, going into your third year, how much, and this is just more from your point of view more than anything else, but how much have you seen the board change, or what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen since your time within the board happen?
Well, I think I was on the board back in the mid-'90s, and I think the thing is that the board now is actually more involved in running the society. In the early days, it was kind of maybe a good old boy type of thing, but certainly with the way the board has progressed and the people that we have on the board, with our technology people and the knowledge that the people have on the board and their passion for barbecue, I just think it's a lot more of a business type atmosphere than maybe it was in the past. Certainly we have to be on top of things. We just crossed over 13,000 members, and the way we're going, that we should pop another 1,000 members here before long, and we just have to be more aware and to accommodate the membership that we have out there, and look at the different facets that the members are looking for information from us, and the guidance that the barbecue supplies.
No, I'm glad you brought up the amount of membership that you have, because we're going to address that here in just 1 second. The rules rolled out for 2010 here just a little while ago. Can you bring us up to speed on any major rule changes that have happened from one year to the next?
Well, really, there really was no major changes. We had some things come forward that members brought forward at our annual meeting in Philadelphia here not too long ago in January, and basically it was some things that we just didn't feel needed to be implemented at this time, and other than some wording in the rules and so forth, things are pretty much status quo.
So, with your crossing of the 13,000 member, and I got to believe that Gary and Carolyn Wells didn't think that this was going to be anywhere near the monster it is now. 20 plus years ago when they started it, and given the success of the sport in general, and having seen it grow, probably especially over the last 5, 6, 7 years, couple that with that TV show that showed up towards the end of last year, Barbecue Pitmasters, which really prominently displayed KCBS as a sanctioning body. How do you plan to kind of roll that whole ball of momentum on in the future and kind of complement and roll with that?
Well, I think of the fact that 3 years ago we made the decision to look at a marketing firm, and certainly if you're familiar with us, MMA, who works out of Cookeville, Tennessee, we work closely with Mike McLeod and his group, and I think that was one measure that we made, that realizing that our membership was growing, we needed to look for professional help as far as marketing our goods and services and exposing more people to our membership. And I think that was one step, and I just think the direction of the board that we have is looking toward the future. We certainly realize that this sport's growing by leaps and bounds, and with Pitmasters coming on board again this year, we're looking for that growth to continue to grow. I think it's reflected in the professionalism that we have in the office now. For instance, our CBJ classes are turning around in less than 2 weeks, and before it was taking considerably longer. And just being able to service the membership as best we can and on a more professional scale, I think is the way we'll look at that, and continue to be on top of things as best we can, Greg.
We're talking with Mike Lake. He's the current president of the Kansas City Barbecue Society, the largest sanctioning body for competition barbecue. The website is kcbs.us if you want to check them out. Mike, talking about that Barbecue Pitmasters show, did you really see a noticeable spike in interest in with new members in regard specifically to that show, or is that kind of either more of an urban legend or really not something that you can track as a body?
Well, I don't know if we can track it as a body, but we've certainly seen a spike in membership for the winter months, for instance. During the first 3 or 4 months of the year when we're holding a lot of CBJ classes, we see our membership spike. But, for instance, in January, we didn't have any CBJ classes, and we've seen a spike that was just not normal. And we would have to attribute that some I'm certain, to the exposure that the Pitmaster Series has given us. And during the CBJ classes that I've conducted so far this year, a lot of them have mentioned the Pitmaster Series. So, yeah, I'm sure that had a great influence on the new members that it's brought in.
So was there some type of, did you have to grant them access, or did you guys have to strike some type of deal in order to have that TV show shot last year?
Well, really what the deal is, just probably a word of mouth. Greg, John Marcus, who's the director or producer of that show, he works with actually working with the organizers, to get permission to go in. All those shows weren't KCBS shows, but the majority of them were, and John basically is cutting his deals with the organizer to get access, and KCBS has helped where we can to help promote the sport of barbecue via that show too. So.
All right, so another question that I had for you tonight, and I had actually just got done holding the barbecue chicken roundtable here between 9 and 10 o'clock, and was talking to Joe Morey and Kelly Wirtz and Troy Black, and I asked them this question towards the end of the show, and I'd like to get your take on it. If you go back and through some of the board meeting notes here early part of the year, there was that kind of volley back and forth about the potential of letting propane cookers into competitions, and at least from this point, it looks like that's possibly stalled out. But, I mean, do you see, and again, I guess this would be more from your personal side of things now because of how things have voted out at this current point in time, do you see a point in time when propane cookers might be let in and be able to compete with the stick burners and the FE cookers and all the other Weber Smoky Mountains and whatnot?
I think down the road, I think that's probably a distinct possibility. I was involved with Jim Woodsmall's first LPQ contest. In fact, I repped that contest up in Iowa a couple of years ago, and Jim's coming back with an LPQ versus a pellet contest this year, and quite frankly, I cook on. I have an old hickory that I cook on, which is a gas, and that I'm prejudiced to that, because I also cook on a gear pit, but I don't foresee any problems with down the road, with LP coming into some competition. So whether it'll be in the mainstream, I don't know, Greg, but I think that you probably see more LP gas coming in someplace along the line.
So this might be more of a, I don't want to call it a sideshow, but these cookers might be sectioned off and not be able to compete each other at specific competitions, but they both might be able to compete, but not just together at this point in time.
I don't know. I don't really know if I understand your question as far as that goes. So,
like you might have a traditional KCBS contest, in Nowhere, Nevada, KCBS sanctioned, and then have a gas cooker at the same event, but only gas cookers can cook with gas cookers, and you can't intermingle the two. Or would you be setting up a completely different series for the gas cookers?
Well, you could. Right now, we have the competitor series, and they can cook. Like Jim's contest coming up here in June, where it's going to be LP. His first contest was straight LP, so you could cook on it. So I don't know how it's going to be worked out in the end, but I foresee probably that someplace along the line, LP is going to be able to compete with stick burners, pellet burners, charcoal, etc. So.
Do you think that's like I'm sorry. Do you think that's like a 5-year or less deal, or could that be even longer than that? You think?
It could be longer than that, but when it does happen, it won't surprise me. I'll put it that way.
There you go.
I think it's probably inevitable, but how soon it's going? Certainly, your traditionals are going to be against it, but fact that we're putting out barbecue, and that's to me that's what it's all about. And certainly there's some stuff coming out of Old Hickories and Southern Prides and so forth that are certainly equal in quality and so forth too. Stuff coming out of stick burner. So and I cook on both of them, so it really doesn't bother me.
Yeah, we're talking with Mike Lake. He's the president of the Kansas City Barbecue Society. Mike, some of the arguments that I've heard for letting propane cookers in is the fact that it might open up a whole nother avenue as far as sponsorship for contests that you wouldn't normally have. For instance, some regional propane dealers might step up and add more money to a pot or something like that. Do you think that's something that might be realistic?
Oh, I'm sure that could be a possibility. Of course, your majors would be your Southern Prides and your Old Hickories, and they're pretty much involved in barbecue right now anyway. And how much more they'd want to bring to the table would be entirely up to them. And I don't know if folks like David Knight how much he would really get behind it, because he certainly supports barbecue the way it is. So that's something we'll just have to wait and see. I think what happens, Greg.
All right, so one other thing that I wanted to ask you about personally tonight, and then I had some listener submission questions to ask you about, is, when you read through the rules and you see, one thing that sets Kansas City Barbecue Society apart from a lot of the other sanctioning bodies is the fact that the majority of the competitors that are going to these competitions on the weekend they're not required to use garnish, but they're, garnish is a part of their process. Do you think there's a point in time where, because it is technically optional right now, I believe is the rule state, that people will, or the voting membership will either vote garnish in as a mandatory part of the process or vote it out altogether and not leave it in that optional state?
Well, I don't know. Being that garnishes are allowed, the leaves of green lettuce and parsley and flat parsley and that there, if you understand why that rule's in there, it makes KCBS unique for one thing, but I'll leave that up to the membership. So far, we've looked at that. I've been a member since '92, and I think it's brought up every year, and it's been the board has made the decision to keep it on, and if the membership wants it taken out bad enough, they'll certainly address it, and they have the right to vote on it. So if the majority of membership wants it changed, it'll probably be changed. But at this time right now, I don't foresee that happening. real soon.
So, as Mike Lake, the cook, would you rather not have to deal with it, or do you like it and think it is one of those things that really sets this particular sanctioning body apart from all the others?
As a cook, certainly not as a board. I cook and we use it, and I will continue to use it as long as it's allowed, because I think the whole purpose of the garnish is to make your meat look better, and if it makes your product look better, and I can influence the judges in any way by making my meat look better, I'm going to continue to use it. So, and that's just Mike Lake's point, and not necessarily that of the boards.
There you go. Mike Lake, again, president of the Kansas City Barbecue Society, joining us here on the Barbecue Central Show. Got a question from Ray in Cambridge, Iowa. He is asking me to ask you about, he hears that you're not going to be running the Illinois State Championship in Shannon after this year. What does that mean for the competition and the butt-to-butt championship, which is also held there?
Well, I'll address that first. First of all, Teresa and I ran that, that's my wife, and we ran it for 15 years, and we made the decision that we're not going to, well, I unofficially ran it because we rep that contest, but we have a big part in that contest, so we're not going to look at it from a management side of it next year. If the community wants to continue to jump in, and somebody wants to, in the community wants to jump in and take it over, we'll assist them. But we're not going to be the major player in it. As far as for the butt-to-butt, that's really a personal thing with me, and the butt-to-butt competition will live. And what I foresee is we'll move that around the country, and it will remain.
All right, another question I have is, I don't have a name on this guy, I just have a handle, Jacked Up BBQ, and he is from Forker River, New Jersey, and he wants me to ask Mike, Pilsner or ale?
Pilsner or ale?
Yes. I have no idea what that means, but I'm guessing that might be an inside joke for you.
Put it this way, Boulevard Wheat.
Yeah. We're talking with Mike Lake. He is the president of the Kansas City Barbecue Society. Mike, is there anything going on within the KCBS right now that either I haven't brought up or that you would like to get out there right now before we have you on again here in the next few months?
Well, I tell you, we just put a program together with Sadler Smokehouse out of Henderson, Texas, where we've granted them the seal of approval on their brisket, their beef brisket product. And it's something that that we worked together with Mike McLeod's organization, MMA, brought it to us, and four of the there was four of us in Carolyn, the four of the board members in Carolyn Wells at the last board meeting looked at their product. We liked it, and so they'll be the first meat product that we're offering KCBS seal of approval. We're real excited about that program, and we think some other things will come forth that we'll be able maybe to grant the KCBS seal of approval. Certainly, it should help us out as far as our exposure, and we're all about promoting barbecue, and we thought that this was a good step forward for us.
And that's just not something that's specific to competition cooks. That's the seal of approval for KCBS, like a seal of approval for NFL, something like that?
Right, similar to like a good housekeeping seal of approval, right. Similar to that, right.
All right, there he is. He is the current president of the Kansas City Barbecue Society, Mike Lake. Mike, appreciate you coming on the show tonight, talking about the KCBS, a little bit of history on you as well, and we'll look to have you on again here in the very near future.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
Take care, Mike. There he is. El Presidente. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the Kansas City Barbecue Society, Mike Lake. Check him out. All right. Talked to him on the phone very briefly today to make sure we can be able to hook up. I apologize for the phone connection. Mike is actually doing a lot of business. He is at a swine convention. No, I'm not kidding. A swine convention. He's in the, I believe he said he was in the meat processing game as well. So a lot of hands-on stuff there, probably a lot of knowledge about meat in general, pork in general, that we could talk to him about here in the future. But I've had a number of conversations over the history of the show, whether it be on podcast only or since the inception of the live show, where I've had some KCBS people on. But, it seems like after 2 or 3 shows on a quarterly basis, things kind of go south. I don't know where where the love dies, really. Perhaps that showing my relational issues. But somehow the fire fizzles out, and it's important to me to have access to the biggest sanctioning body, the one that the majority of the listeners that are tuning in that are down with the competition side of things want to hear about, and if there's issues, he certainly wasn't looking to skirt anything that I brought up, so that's always good to at least for a host to see. He's up front and he's willing to talk about some of the issues out there and what he would like to see improved. Look, personally, I still think it's a joke with the garnish. I don't think that. I think it should be voted on once and for all. There should be a broadcast fax put out immediately, and you should say, "Look, you membership people that are competing," and I'm sure I would love to get the percentage of membership that has never competed. That has to be a sizable amount, I would imagine. Maybe 50% of the competition. Or the membership of KCBS doesn't even compete or has never competed. I'm guessing. Of course, I have no access to inside information, but I would imagine it's got to be a fairly high percentage. Or maybe even a higher percentage would be the guys and the gals that have only competed in one competition since they got their membership. But look, the bottom line is there's a large amount of people here that want to know what's going on, and he's somebody that at least now looks like he'll come on a regular basis. But the point I was trying to make is this. I think the garnish needs to be taken out of the optional limbo that it has been living in. And here's why. Because I would find it hard to believe, and I've made this point before in past shows when we talk about garnish, and I'm a little passionate on this subject, even though I've never competed. But if you go to a KCBS competition and you see the teams that win and you look at their boxes, the top 10 teams are all going to be garnishing their boxes. I would eat a box whole, meat and styrofoam all together on one that won without any garnish in it. It just isn't going to happen, or it would happen so rarely you might be able to win the lottery 10 times before it would actually happen again as far as a non-garnished box winning a competition. Just my thought. So why not take a vote and either just have it in or have it out? Because leaving it in the optional state basically, to me, states, and a lot of other cooks will tell you, look, if you're not going to garnish your box, great, and let me give you all of the competitions that I'm going to be going at this year, and I want you to show up every one, because at least I know I'm going to beat your butt, because you're not garnishing your box. But leaving it in the limbo state of optional is kind of laughable for the fact that you have to know. I mean, you have to know. It's like one of those unwritten rules. It's like one of the codes in baseball. When a guy hot dogs it around the bases after you want yard on the pitcher, the next guy's going to take it in the back or in the ear. If you're not going to garnish your box, chances are you're not going to do as well as the guys that are garnishing their boxes because they know how to use it. So why not just vote it in as mandatory and make everybody learn how to do it right? Damn it. All right, let's go ahead and try and get some winners here before we wrap it up tonight. 877-448-0433. Where's my list of stuff to win? Whiskey Bent Barbecue T-shirt, of course. The green leaf oak-infused wine wood. Cosmos Q injection pack. And what's that other one that I give away all the time? Where's that piece of paper? Hold on one second. No, I can't find it. It's gone. It's all gone. Yeah, Cosmos Q, Whiskey Bent Barbecue T-shirt, and the Greenleaf Barbecue stuff. 877-448-0433. There's something else that I'm missing as far as the giveaways are concerned, but that's all right. If you can remember what the giveaway that I usually give away is. No. How about a 2-pack of PD Rivers Swamp Sauce, baby? Yeah. Can't go wrong with the PD River Swamp Sauce. I was just talking to Tim the other day, and he was telling me how he is very, very shortly going to be potentially introducing a new flavor of Petey River swamp sauce. And he tells me that name of it, and I can't remember it's got that gimmicky name to it. Like saucy and sassy all rolled into one, like salsy or something. I don't know. Thoughts about the Chicken Roundtable as well, if you want. Be happy to take those. We'll run through the winners here. Write this down. We have the Cosmos. Oh, frog mats. It's the frog mats, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! Frog mats, green leaf barbecue, and whiskey bent. All right, so if you want to win something, all you have to do is call into the show. It's free. I'm paying for it. 877-448-0433. bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. If you haven't been to the Barbecue Central Radio Network's website, first of all, shame on you.
Get that big stuff out of here.
You can visit it by going directly to this website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And aside from going here or going there every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and getting your live dose of the Barbecue Central show, you'll also find that on off show or on off live show hours, I also air 3 other shows that are related to barbecue and grilling. We have In the Hut, hosted by Huck Jr. and his father, Huck Sr. We also have Celebrity Grill, and we also have Hot Sauce Weekly, which is kind of a little bit of a change. But, hot sauce and barbecue seem to go well together. So Hot Sauce Weekly, hosted by Brian Mayer, will go to area code 505, name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, which is a suburb of Albuquerque, 50 miles west.
All right, and your name, sir?
My name is Ron Phillips.
Ron Phillips. How are you tonight, buddy? How you doing tonight, Ron?
I'm doing great, man. I just picked up on your show.
Hey,
Second
great.
time I've listened to.
What do you think?
And yeah, it's great. Are you going to be talking about the Pitmaster show tonight?
Not tonight, no.
Okay, just wondered.
Yeah, I'm chasing down John Marcus kind of as we speak, so hopefully we can have him back up, in the next couple weeks talking about season 2.
I'm kind of excited that they're coming back.
Yeah, I heard the format is going to be changed, but again, once we have John on, we can kind of square all that out. But are you interested in winning a prize tonight, Ron?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have did you have one in particular in mind? Because we currently have all 4 available right now.
Well, I've got an electric master-built smoker. I don't know if you know what those are.
I don't use electric smokers.
Get that big stuff out of here.
I know. I'll put my food up against anybody's, though.
Yeah, I bet you will. Good job, Ron. What would you like?
Anything that you have some rubs or stuff, something you said?
I have Cosmos Q injection, which is a pork injection, a beef injection, also a chicken soak, which is kind of like an instant brine. And then we also have the Greenleaf wine-infused oak chips.
Yes, that's what I would love.
The oak chips?
Yes.
All right, Ron, this is what you need to do.
I can't get any oak around here.
Gotcha. All right. Well, these are wine-infused oak chips, so it should be infinitely better than just regular oak, I would imagine. GreenleafBBQ.com is the website if you want to check them out. But go ahead and email me your shipping info, and I'll get that out to Tim, and we'll get you hooked up, Ron. bbqcentralradio@gmail.com with your shipping info.
Let me write that down quick.
All right. Quickly.
Is it on your website?
Yeah, but it's bbqcentralradio@gmail.com.
At Gmail.
There you go.
I will do it, man.
All right, Ron, thanks for calling in tonight, buddy. Beat it. Area code 281, Barbecue Central Radio Show, name and where you're calling from.
Don Dukes, and I'm calling from Atascocita, Texas.
Don Dukes. Perhaps I should say D. Dukes.
That'd be me.
Yeah, baby. What's up, Don?
Not a whole lot.
All right, so we have
if you got any prizes left.
yeah, got 3 prizes left. We have a frog mat, we have Cosmos Q's injection pack, which is the 1 each pork, beef, and the chicken soak or the whiskey bent barbecue T-shirt.
All right, let's try the Cosmos.
Cosmos 2D Dukes. Yeah. All right, go ahead and email me your shipping info, and we'll get that down to Darian, and you will get hooked up.
All right, thank you much.
All right, thanks for calling in tonight, and thanks for listening.
All right, thanks. See you.
There he is. D. Dukes is in the house. Don Dukes. Don, right? I'll be able to double-check that when he calls back in. All right, and we have 2 prizes left. The frog mat and the whiskey bent barbecue T-shirt, 877-448-0433. Tradio. Call me with your antique smokers. We'll list them. We'll get you gold bullion for your gold smokers. Tradio. You ever heard Tradio? Class, you have to Google Tradio and then tune in for about 5 or 6 sentences. And right before you blow your head off, you'll be like, damn you, Rempe. Wait a second. Looky here. The winningest man in barbecue central history, Phil White from Huntsville, Alabama. Phil, tonight, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How about you, Greg?
I'm doing very well, Phil. Thank you for asking.
Pretty good round table tonight. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, I'd like to say it was really good, except those tight asses didn't sell any information to us. What do you think about that, Phil? I know you got some words.
Well, considering where they're at, look at where they're in the team of the year points, that's probably what you probably couldn't got anybody to tell that.
Yeah,
but I do agree with what Joe said. In fact, I've tried it at home.
What's that?
I've gotten crisp skin chicken and then put it in a turn-in box and let it set 15, 20 minutes. And then open it back up, it's like shoe leather.
Yeah. Oh, I look. I mean, anything. That's with anything. You get anything you've taken off the grill, you throw it in styrofoam, and inside of 14 seconds, it is. It becomes very clammy and flimsy, and then it only goes downhill from there. So yeah, I would tend to agree that even if you think you got crispy skin coming off the grill, by the time the judge opens the top, it's going to be steamy mess at best.
I'm surprised that they didn't say they used muffin pans to get that through skin.
Yeah, I thought everybody used muffin pans.
Hey, I thought that was the given thing now. You can't find them at Walmart no more.
Yeah, well, go on to Myron's website. You get the autographed muffin pan for $795,000.
What about the trash can?
Yeah,
you could also buy a trash can.
There you go. See, it doesn't get any better. Muffin pans and trash cans, baby. It's my new saying.
Hey, only in the South, baby. Only in the South.
All right, Phil, we have a Whiskey Bent barbecue T-shirt or a frog mat. Well, you have a frog mat already, I think, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a frog mat.
You want to?
If you want to send me a shirt, if you want to send me a T-shirt, you can send me an extra large. When I know last week you was taking bets, it's XL.
XL. You sure?
Extra large.
You're not lying, are you?
Hey, my wife says I might have to graduate to a 2X if I keep eating.
Hey, there you go. Remember my words of wisdom to the barbecue faithful. Push back after the 15th cheeseburger. Just say no, right?
Exactly.
All right, Phil, you know the drill, and I'll get this out to Chad, and we'll get you hooked up flying the Whiskey Bent barbecue colored T-shirts.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks for calling in tonight, Phil. As always, there he is. If the Barbecue Central Show prize closet was the lottery, Phil White from Huntsville, Alabama, would have more money than Bill Gates. However, total up all of the prizes that he has won, times that by 7 with a multiplicative inverse. of 7x to the second plus 3xy plus 7 using the quadratic formula to solve for that answer. He has won a grand total of $6.75.
Get that big stuff out of here.
All right. That's going to do it. Thanks to Mike Lake for coming on After Dark, talking about the KCBS. A little bit of history on him as well. Hopefully we can have him maybe once a quarter. Check out all the happenings that's going on in the biggest sanctioning body in the world. That's right, it's the world, baby. Barbecue is global. Got to get Jackie Wade on again. A team that single-handedly changed the course of events at the Jack Daniels back in, man, was that 2004 now? It's like a billion years ago. Also, thanks to my barbecue chicken roundtable mates. Troy Black from LearnToQ.com. Joe Moray from Smoky Mountain Smokers. Kelly Wirtz from Four Legs Up Barbecue. Next week, we have the Pork Roundtable up. Scott Key from Little Pigtown. Dave Bosca from Butcher Barbecue. And Kyle Laval from theslabs.com. So stay tuned for that. And then wrapping up the roundtable on the 30th is the Brisket Roundtable with Rod Gray from Pellet Envy, Steve Farron from I Smell Smoke, Iowa Smoky D's, Darren Worth. We'll see you back here next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, this is your proud U.S. American host, Greg Rempe. Good night now.